5 p.m. The Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority regular meeting starts Tuesday, November 17, 2015, 5:35 p.m. The roll call.
Mayor Kim?
Yes.
Councilmember
Here.
Mayor Pro-Tem Castro is absent. Councilmember Moreno?
Present.
Councilmember Gonzalo is absent. We still have a quorum.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Garcia. As public comment time, I believe nobody submitted public comment. So we're going to adjourn to the closed session. A closed session of the City Council, Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority may be held in accordance with the state law, which may include it but not limited to the following types of items: personal matters, labor negotiations, security matters, providing instructions to real property negotiators, and the conference with legal counsel regarding pending litigations. The closed session will be held in the City Hall conference rooms located at 608 Heber Avenue, Calexico, California. Any public comment on closed session items will be taken before the closed sessions. Any required announcement or discussion of the closed session items or acting following the closed session will be made in the City Council chambers, 608 Heber Avenue, Calexico, California. Closed session item number 1, public employee discipline, dismissal, release. Title, City Manager. Government Code 54957B. 2, public employee appointments. Title, City Attorney. Government Code 54957B. 3, public employee performance evaluation. Title, Acting City Manager. Government Code 54957B. So there's no public comment, so we're going to adjourn to the closed session. We're going to go to the closed session, 5:39.
Seeing that there's none.
We're going to start it. Anybody forget the cellular phone, turn it off. Please turn off the cellular phones. Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority, regular session meeting will start 6:30 p.m. Call to
6:35.
oh, 6:35 p.m. Call to order.
Mayor Kim?
Yes.
Mayor Pro-Tem Castro?
Present.
Councilmember Rivera? Here. Councilmember Gonzalo is absent. Councilmember Moreno?
Here.
So we got quorum. Thank you, Ms. Garcia. And so we have a Pledge of Allegiance. Let's say we are led by Mr. Eduardo Lopez, who will lead us to Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Invocation by Pastor Modesto Diaz, Calexico Unified Methodist Church.
At this moment, we invoke the presence of God for this meeting. Please close your eyes and pray with me. Merciful God, we ask to you your blessing for this city council. Bless every heart, every mind, and every good idea. Bless every people at these cities. Oh God, we ask your presence at this moment. And for the glorious God, you can put in every activity of Calexico the blessing and the protection and everything you can do it. Bless all we can make or every word at this moment, and please put in your love in every heart. In the name of Jesus, I invoke your presence at this time, and I invoke your holy name, now and forever. Amen.
Amen. Now is closed session announcement. Mr. Attorney, Mr. Bob.
No reportable actions taken, direction given.
Thank you. Approval agenda.
So moved.
Is there any second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Castro. If Ms. Garcia is working, voting machine is working.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Castro, vote?
Yes.
Just say aye.
I already say aye.
Thank you. Announcement: This proceeding may be viewed on the City of Calexico website at www.calexico.ca.gov the Friday following the City Council meeting. Presentation number 4. Number 4, proclamation for the 36th Annual Farm Workers Appreciation Breakfast. I think the council members has papers to read. Farm Workers Appreciation Week, November 29, 2015 to December 5th, 2015. Whereas agriculture has traditionally been the backbone of the economy of the Imperial Valley, and
whereas Imperial Valley farm workers have tilled the soil, sowed the seed, and harvested the crops of these rich agricultural areas, and
whereas these workers and the agriculture industry have provided food in abundance for the people in cities, the nations of the world, and have thus contributed greatly to the economy of Calexico and the Imperial Valley. And whereas the Calexico City Council recognizes the contribution which these migratory workers and the agriculture industry have made to our community. And
whereas the Calexico City Council believes in the dignity of tilling the soil and tending the crops, and whereas the Calexico City Council recognizes agriculture will continue to play a strong role in our community's economy, and
now, therefore, be it resolved that the Calexico City Council does hereby proclaim the week of November 29, 2015 to December 5th, 2015 as Farm Workers Appreciation Week. In witnesses thereof, I hereunto affix my signature and official seal of the City of Calexico on the 17th day of November 2015. Jung S. Kim, Mayor. I believe that we have a representing the farm workers. Is there any chance, Mr. Danny Santian, would you receive it for the farm workers? Of course, you have to return us too. Thank you. Number 5, presentation by the Ken Pun and McGiddy on the financial audit for the fiscal year 2012-2013 and fiscal year 2013-2014.
3 minutes, please.
Try my best. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council here. My name is Ken Poon. I'm the managing partner of Poon & McGiddy. I'm here tonight to present the 2013 reissuance of the single audit report and the 2014 of the single audit report, which is what I call the federal compliance audit. So basically what I'm going through tonight is going through the scope of work, basically talking about the two report, why we need to do a single audit. As required by SAS number 114, communications to those charged with governance, we are required to communicate to you on certain things in terms of responsibility as a management yourself, and also our responsibility as an auditor. We'll go through the review of the 2013 single audit and 2014 single audit, and then prepare for the upcoming year. There's a lot of new GASB pronouncement that has a big impact to the city's financial statement for the 2015. So then after that, we can answer any question that you may have. So the scope of work that we accomplish is the reissuance of the 2013 single audit report. We issued the 2013 single audit report back in probably early 2014, but unfortunately there is some expenditure which is not included in the 2013, and that's caused the reissuance.
Just for clarification, the reissuance is happening because
something was missing in this report.
Something was missing. Okay, so.
And I will go through those things that was missing.
And this is the 2013-14 audit?
2012 to 13.
Oh, 12-13.
Yes.
Okay, so 2012 and 13 single audit had some stuff missing.
Yep.
And so that's why that's happening. And so 14-15 was also, has not been done yet, correct?
It has not been done yet. Your management team is actually currently closing the book.
Okay.
So that we are expecting to start our field work in January of 2016.
That's still kind of late, right?
Yes.
Usually May, or I'm sorry.
Usually needs to be completed by March 31st. Mm-hmm.
March 31st,
Yeah.
okay.
And the issuance of 2014, we just complete all the tasks for 2014. So the reason why we need to have a single audit is because the city has expended more than $500,000 of federal expenditure. That's why not only we need to perform the financial statement audit, at the same time you are required to go through the compliance audit. That's why these are the two reports that you see for the 2013 and 14 on the compliance side.
And these are federal funds?
Federal funds.
So as long as the city doesn't spend more than $500,000 on federal funds, it doesn't need
Correct.
to have a single audit?
Correct.
Okay.
But on average, every year the city spend close to about $5 million, that
Okay.
range. Sometimes $7 million, sometimes $4 million, depending on that year activity.
Okay.
Okay. So, this is the auditing standard requirements that I need to communicate to you. One is the management responsibility. You are fully responsible for the presentation of the schedule of expenditure of federal award, which is the financial statement of all the federal expenditure in there. So you need to adopt sound accounting policy to make sure that the schedule is actually presented in all material respect in accordance with OMB Circular A133. You need to also establish, maintain proper internal control over financial reporting and compliance. OMB Circular A133 actually require that we need to test the internal control over compliance requirements on all of the major programs that has a direct and material effect on these compliance requirements. So that's why you do need to have the proper internal control in place. Last but not least is to provide evidence supporting to the CFA schedule and the related note disclosure, and to prevent and detect fraud. So our responsibility is assess the audit risk of material misstatement and material non-compliance that has a major effect on these major programs.
I'm sorry, I don't want to continue interrupting you, but it just kind of, is this normal for a city to do a reissuance? I mean,
Sometimes it does.
Okay.
Not normal, but sometimes if you found mistakes from the previous report that has a material effect, yes.
So the mistake wasn't with Pun and McGiddy. So in other words, you conduct an audit based on what they give you.
Correct.
If they don't give you something, then
Yeah.
you guys aren't.
And I can
It's not
explain-
your job to go look for everything.
Well, it's part of our job, but the thing was that one particular program is not really a cash expenditure program. I can explain to you when we get to
Okay.
the,
I'm getting ahead of this a little bit. Okay.
No problem. And we are here to determine the city is in compliance with all the compliance requirements for your major program, including those as listed in the compliance supplement that the OMB issue every year. We also need to determine the fairness and accuracy of the schedule of expenditure of federal award expenditure. We are issuing an in relation opinion on the CFA schedule. That means it's not really a full-blown audit. We only trace the amount back to your financial statement and making sure those expenditures are properly reported in those funds. And then we issue the audit opinion on each major program as determined under OMB Circular A133 and report any finding under the government auditing standards. So let's take a look at 2013. Basically, the total expenditure for the year was $6.6 million. And go through the risk assessment process. The risk assessment is not necessary that the higher dollar those will be paid. It's all based on the requirements under OMB Circular A133. So during that year, we actually select three major programs. One is the Home Investment Partnership Program. Second one is the Equitable Sharing Program. And the last one is the Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response Program of $352,000. So total expenditure tested during the year was $5.9 million. Because the city of Calexico is considered a non-low-risk auditee, so we are required to test the expenditure of more than 50% of the total expenditure, which is more. We are required to test over $3.3 million. But as you can tell, we test about like 89% of the federal programs.
And most of the stuff that I see here is pretty much housing, correct?
Yeah, pretty much housing loan program that has a continued compliance requirements on those. Those in the Home Investment Partnership. The Equitable Sharing Program is the Asset Forfeiture Program for the police department, and the Staffing for Adequate Fire, I call it the SAVER program, is actually additional staffing for and the overtime for the fire department.
So the audit doesn't really consist of the general fund?
this part of the audit is not really from the general fund.
Okay.
When we actually look at the financial statement audit, we actually pay a lot of attention to the general fund.
Okay.
Yeah. And also when I'm going through the findings, I'm also talking a couple things relating to the financial statement findings.
Okay.
For both years are pretty consistent. Okay. So overall, let's talk about the good news. Basically, we actually work really hard with your management team to actually dig up a lot of supporting documents to make sure that we are able to issue an unmodified opinion on all three major programs that we selected. That means that the city is compliant in all material respects with the compliance requirement that could have a direct and material effect on each of the major programs that we tested, which is the 3 programs that we tested. Material weaknesses and significant deficiency were noted on these programs, but there's even though you have internal control issues, but you're still in compliance with those grants. Last but not least, there's one major program that we did not select for testing, which is the CDBG, was audited by HUD, the Housing and Urban Department. They actually come out and do the audit, and they do actually have one finding talking about the supporting documentation on the CDBG expenditure.
So the opinion hasn't changed, it's still an unqualified opinion?
It's an unmodified opinion. Now
But the original, so now it's unmodified,
Yeah.
but it was unqualified.
Correct. So in 2013, we have a list of findings. The first one is what I call the internal control financial reporting. And during the 2013, we actually have a prior period adjustment of about like $946,000. There were one capital lease was not reported, and the related liability also not reported. When you start paying your capital lease in 2014, that was being found in the 2014 audit. That's why we need to do a prior period adjustment on that. Second one is the accounting close and accuracy of the financial reporting. I know the city has some difficulties in the past couple of years in closing your books. So basically, right now, management.
Just a quick question. So, in other words, the city reported $946,000 over?
Short.
Oh, short.
Yeah, short on the asset side and also short on the liability side. It's only a balance sheet item only because it's a capital lease.
Is that, again, is that normal?
It is not normal. But usually when especially for the capital lease arrangement, you don't actually pay it immediately. Like probably you have the capital lease for a couple months and you pay as you go. A lot of time it's running through the expenditure, the expense side. So that's why when we inquire and talk and find out this is the agreement, that should be called a capital lease, and that needs to be recorded both the asset and the liability on the books instead of running the lease payment as expenditure for all each year.
Okay.
So it meets the requirements to be capitalized as a capital asset.
I mean, to not account for almost $1 million seems a pretty big mistake.
It's a pretty big mistake, though.
Okay, well.
Yeah. Okay. 2013-02 is the accounting close and accuracy in the financial statement. And during the last 2 years, I think what I'm going through right now is also happening in 2014 also. Basically, it seems to me that the city did not complete your year-end closing procedures, and when we come up here and finish do our audit, there's a lot of adjustment that is proposed by our auditors to either correct or reclassify balances on the financial statement, making sure that these are in compliance with U.S. GAAP. And 2013-03 is the accurate preparation of the CFA schedule. This is the 2 new findings that I add because of the single audit, the reissuance of the single audit. Basically, there were two programs. Two of them are actually the major programs. One, the equitable sharing program, and the staffing for adequate fire and emergency response were understated in your CFA schedule. So that's why we need to include those expenditure. And after we include those as an expenditure, actually trigger to be a Type A major program that under the OMB Circular A133. That's why we are doing more testing to test out these two programs. And also one of the things I also want to point it out in our compliance requirements finding, we do have a lot of internal control over compliance requirements on the equitable sharing program that we noted. So basically, we'll go through those after the financial statement finding. And the number 4 is the internal control over budget monitoring process. One of the things that we also noted, the city is not properly reviewing using a budget monitoring control to oversee your expenditure. So in 2014, basically, for example, in 2014, your total general fund over expenditure by close to almost like $3 million.
What?
So that's why it is a very, very important tools for your department, for your city management to actually close a look at your budget versus actual.
3 million?
On 12-03, the $222,000, that was also understated?
That's understatement of the total expenditure.
That another mistake.
Yeah. But that is on the expenditure side. It's not on your financial statement. It's something that you report to the federal government that was understated. So, talking about the federal award finding, which is more closer to your relating to the 3 major program, 2013-05 is what I call the subrecipient monitoring process on your home investment partnership program. The city actually passed through the money to a subrecipient, and there is no indication that the city has performed subrecipient monitoring to make sure that your subrecipient is actually properly spent the money and in compliance with those compliance requirements under OMB Circular A133. So that is one of the things that the city needs to consider, putting in programs to monitoring the subrecipient properly by either collecting the single audit report from their own auditor, or basically doing some other audit procedures on those subrecipients to make sure that they're in compliance. 2013-06 is cash management. This is the first finding that we have for the equitable sharing program. The whole entire things that was triggered to be investigated on this program is that was a check of about like $104,000 was not processed and was found in the drawer of the former police chief. OMB Circular A133 requires cash to be deposited in a proper manner by putting the check under the drawer without processing it. Is not a good cash management procedures by the city.
I hope it's deposited now.
Deposit now. Yep.
Chief, you took care of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2013-07 is relating to the also the equitable sharing program on the non-payroll expenditure. Basically, we select about 20 samples from the whole entire population. 2 out of those are not active. There's no supporting documentation, but the question cost is only $3,800. I know this amount is actually below the $10,000 requirement, but it is important for me to identify here to let you know that it's important to have proper supporting document for your expenditure here. Then it comes down to the next big one is transfer of overtime charge from general fund. Basically, right now we work really hard during the last 2 weeks with management to resolve this issue. Equitable sharing program is one of those programs that is not on a reimbursement basis. It's based on the asset forfeiture money that you collect over the year, so that you have proper like cash in your asset forfeiture fund. So, but federal government allows you to actually use this money for police purposes. But in 2013, your former finance director actually transferred a bunch of overtime to this program and redo the certification report to submit it to the federal government, which cost us, there's about like a $600,000 of the overtime that is not supported by any supporting document. Last week, the last 2 weeks, we worked really hard with management, transferring back the required dollar to the asset forfeiture fund, and now we don't have any question cost, and the city is going to submit your certification report to state that all the overtime are now properly supported by your timesheet in-house here at the city.
So for clarification, are we okay with asset forfeiture?
Right now, yes.
So
after we let your management team put in the corrective action plan immediately, your fund is actually in compliance with the.
So in other words, asset forfeiture was being used to pay for overtime,
Yes.
and that's not allowed.
It is allowed, but it needs to be supported. It's not by just a transfer without
Okay.
any supporting documentation.
Okay, so the documentation is missing.
Would that documentation require justification as well?
Yes.
And the $600,000 now, now that you guys have won't that mean that our general fund will be $600,000 short? And that'll mean that our asset forfeiture will have $600,000 more, correct?
At the beginning of this finding from the auditor, they were questioning the $600,000. We don't have support documentation because the transfer was made just from asset forfeiture to general fund.
Just because?
Just because. So even this last weekend, we were discussing and putting together and bringing from the storage documents of overtime time cards to prove at least 269,000 were allowed under the grant to be expensed under these funds. The difference, it has to be crafted to the general fund. Or in other words, charged to the general fund, 329,000.
That's what I'm saying, so our general fund will be short.
Yes.
It will be eating that money.
Yes.
So, and last but not least, that's the reporting on equitable sharing program is I'm talking about the certification report. And it seems to me that the city did not submit a complete and accurate report. That's why it's always get amended. Yeah. So right now I'm hoping the city put in a corrective action plan in reviewing this more carefully in submitting this report. So that's conclude 2013 reissuance. 2014.
In the beginning, you said there was good news.
It is good news. It is a good news.
I'm still struggling to find it.
Explain right now.
Yeah. Where did the good news come from?
We saved $250,000.
What's that?
The good news is we saved $250,000 from this finding. It's supposed to be the city, the general fund is going to be eating up $600,000. Because all the hard work the finance team make and the articles, we be able to save $269,000.
Yeah, because otherwise, if we actually put in the whole entire $690,000 as a finding, not only that we cannot issue a clean audit opinion on those programs, but also Right now, you can actually charge about $269,000 to the program, which is supported from your supporting documentation, which is allowable under the grant, instead of absorbing everything from the general fund.
So in total, I guess, how much did you guys find that we were off? 900, about
370,000, around that range.
370,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's Mr. Mandy, Mr. Real, you talk a lot, so let me talk a little bit.
I talk a lot? What?
Okay, first of all, I'm sad. I'm very upset. Last couple of years been like fight, arguing with it. It became real, and I wish that to happen, but it's happening. And Mr. Gutierrez was saying it's good news. We're saving $250,000, but actually we shouldn't lose $600,000 from our money. We should, if we have a right administration, if we have a right process, we wouldn't have these kind of things in that from us.
That's why one of the findings that we have is the internal control regarding the budget monitoring process. That is really, really important tools for you, because that was the problem that we had in 2013 and 14 is relating to the overtime budget. So that causes the problem. So, and right now, if you actually put in those internal control in place, then you will resolve a lot of issues by monitoring closely between budget and actual spending, so you don't have a $3 million over budget, overspending from your budget.
Yes, as I was fighting for the overspending, and they were stopping me, and we had big issues at council, and we should open mind. We lay down all the political view differences. We should focusing on the better administration for our city. That is benefit for the city. Now we're talking about $3 million with overspending than our budget. That everybody say, well, we are balanced. Our revenue, our expenditure was the matches. Even we have a book. So the last book was saying the matches. But actually it's $3 million differences we overspending. So this kind of the activities, our council member, we have to see our experience for our future to make decision of our spending or a decision of our action has to be more cautious to make the decisions.
So then I move on to 2014. 2014 has a total expenditure of $4.5 million. And as I said, because of all these findings in 2013, we are not able to classify the city as a low-risk oddity. It's what I call the non-low-risk oddity, which means that I need to test over 50% of the expenditure. But by doing so, even though it's only we need to test over 50%, there's only one program that is subject to the audit for this period. Is the disaster grant public assistance program, close to $3.7 million. So out of the whole entire 4.5, we test about 81%. Okay. So one program is very easy. This program we do not have any major compliance finding. Internal control are proper. Also, that's why we are able to issue an unmodified opinion on this program, and not on this particular program, but we still identify some material weaknesses and significant deficiency on internal control. Also, because the HUD audit just came out, so I'm required to put it as a notes to the financial statement regarding to the same HUD audit here.
I'm a little confused when you say, because 2013-14, we already received that audit, correct?
Correct.
And so when you say 2014, that's what you mean, 13-14?
13-14.
Okay.
So it's pretty much the same internal control issues that we had from 2013. 2014, same thing, 2014-01, we actually do have a problem with your bank reconciliation process. And during the year, there's some unreconciled cash balance needs to be written off of about like $1.3 million. That was unreconciled.
$1.3 million that was not reconciled.
That was not reconciled. Second thing is same thing, accounting close and accuracy in financial reporting. We still have a list of all the adjusting journal entries prepared by our auditors and present to management to report it, so that your financial statements are fairly presented in all material respect. 2013, your bank reconciliation were not reconciled in a timely manner. During that 2 years were extremely behind. So that's why a lot of time we need to do an alternative procedures in order to verify the cash balances. But that's why cash reconciliation is really, really important, because you don't want to miss any cash in there. So now your management team actually put in a really good process. They're almost reconciled it to a manageable amount. And they're still trying to clean up all the mess in the past years. Okay. 2014-04 journal entries review. This is also an important process too. You don't want anybody to post any journal entries to the financial statement to deteriorate the financial position. So general entry is important to go through the second review process. Accurate preparation of the CFA schedule. Those two programs are still having some changes to 2014, but the amount is very, very immaterial. So that's why we put it as one of your internal control issues. There's really no findings in the 2014 for now. And the last but not least is the internal control the budget monitoring process. So federal award finding, we do not have any findings for the major program that we test on the disaster grants. And there are three, that conclude 2014 single audit. For 2015, that's upcoming year, which this is a big year for all state and local government, because it is the first time in U.S. history that the unfunded liability of your pension plan is going to be reported on the face of the financial statement. So that means you will see a big liability, and that will hit hard on your total government financial statement, the unrestricted net position. Nothing will impact on your fund financial statement, because fund financial statement, which is your general fund, your special revenue fund, all those funds are still reported as using the current standard. Pay as you go, like pay your actuarial determined contribution, then you don't see the liability on the fund financial statement. But on the government-wide financial statement, when we consolidate all funds, those liabilities will show up as a on your balance sheet, and that will have an impact to your unrestricted net position. Some of the district, some of the city, because of the net pension liability, will go into a deficit position, but this is normal. Okay. And GASB statement number 69, government combination and disposal. I don't see there's any impact to City of Calexico, because we have not seen there's any combination that you merge in any other district operations coming into the city. Everything still stayed normal, so 69 would not have an impact. But both 68 and 71, both related to pension, will have a big impact to the financial statement in 2015. So that's conclude my presentation tonight. So if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
I'm just still waiting for the good news.
Good news is coming. Good news is coming.
So is there anything that we can do as a staff to kind of spearhead some of these changes that need to be made, or what do you suggest? Or do you come up with recommendations?
Right now, we are working with your team, management team, very closely. We always have progress status meeting with your management here. Starting December, January timeframe, we'll have a bi-weekly phone call to ensure the timelines being met. And your current team is actually going through these findings and putting corrective action plan already.
Okay. You've been auditing our federal funds, is that correct, for quite some time now?
Quite some time.
And have compared to other years, how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do we rate, or is this rateable?
Right now, I can tell because you still get a modified opinion.
Right.
You are barely past it. Like, I'll call it a grade B.
A B?
A B.
Okay. On a scale A, B, C, D, F?
Oh, A, B, C.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no D's and F's?
Yep.
Okay.
You don't want to be in the D, because in the D, that means I need to disclaim the report.
Right.
Which means that you do have significant internal control issues.
Okay.
But now, even though you do have internal control deficiency, but these are manageable.
And they're being mitigated?
Yes, and can be mitigated.
Okay. Thank you.
In your expert opinion, you've been, I think, auditing for 4 years, or how many?
Well, longer than that.
Oh, longer than that? Okay. Looking at the 12, 13, 14 audit, I guess my question is, now are we heading in the right direction?
Yes, you do.
That's what I want to know. I know that we have our issues in the past, but in your expert opinion, we're doing the right things to get out of this, the mess, like you called it. Okay, thank you.
I believe we just received this the single audit report. Actually, we don't have time to review.
Yes.
So actually, we can't ask you much because we don't know yet. Just we rely on your explanation. I'd like to have some special meeting to have a council member who can ask more details.
Sure.
So, Mr. Finley, would you adjust a time with Mr. Pons so we can set some special meeting to our audit, include the budget, so we can discuss?
Yes, I will ask Mr. Plum when he's available to come back to address those questions that we may have.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pons.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, now time public comments and the public appearance note. Not to exceed 3 minutes, this is the time for the public to address the City Council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdictions of the City Council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and the place of the residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. If the item you wish to comment on is a closed session or consent item, please comment now. The City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing item not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to the item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. So public comment here, first person, the Ricardo Selvin. Ricardo Selvin is not here?
He goes by Caldi.
Oh, Caldi. Well, he put in this Ricardo Selvin.
My name is Ricardo Termin. I lived in Calexico for over 61 years in Calexico. I got bad news. They found my brother, Nick Termin. He was born in Calexico. He's talking why he was fired. He's a very honest engineer. I don't know what's going on. I'm not saying we got doing with my brother. But that's all he thought already. I'm going to cost the city a lot of money to get a good engineer. Nick Finney will give more money to my brother. Who's Nick Finney? He's an employee. He didn't have the qualification as an engineer. My brother is a very good engineer. You can find out where you can find his record. Or in California, he's a very honest engineer. But I don't know what you guys are trying to do with my brother. But now he's out here. That's good. Now they're going to cost more money to get a good engineer. That's all I need to say.
Thank you, Mr. Selvin. Next person, Dr. Mohamed Asiat.
Good evening, Councilman. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I would like to ask the council and the city manager to really, this is now almost a year since my son's case. The case have taken a big turn. All the evidence in the case are not presented to the DA to proceed with this case. And it seems like, to me, it's a joke, when you have a crime in this magnitude and when a minor, 17 years old, pay the price for this kind of crime, and here we find out that our police department does not provide the evidence to prosecute the case, and we hear taxpayer money, pay $5 million for police force to be there, doing what? I want to see what they are doing. Are they protecting us or are they protecting the criminal? Are providing safety for our children? Or I want to know, I want an answer. I'm sick and tired coming here and, bringing it to the council without the council giving order and taking action. I want a big investigation. This corruption needs to stop in our police department. There is disgrace for officer to be in uniform and corrupted. If an officer take an action on himself to get rid of material evidence in this case, this is the corruption itself. I don't know who is going to be safe among us, of all of us, who is going to be hit the next for these things to happen. I want to know, I want an answer. And I'm sick and tired. We've been run for almost a year. I have been coming almost a year since this case. It's a year and 1 month, and there is no answer. Instead of the police to follow up with us, the victim, nobody shows up. I mean, I have to beg for the evidence in this crime. I can't see. I can't make a sense of it. This is not normal. And who do we cover up for? Why all this money is thrown from the budget of the city for doing what? We pay overtime to protect the citizen. Are we protected? According to this, are we protected? When the DA comes and said, oh, Dr. Asiad, I'm sorry, I have bad news. They have not provided me with the evidence. There is so material evidence, blood smears, blood reports, bandanas, photos. What is the hell in the world is going here? I like an answer from the chief, from the city manager, and from the council. This is ridiculous. This is a big libel lawsuit against the city. And who's going to pay the price? The citizen. We are enough in a big mess already, as it is. The city is in a big mess. I don't know what's going on. We sit on the chairs and we don't even feel, that the fact this is gone beyond, its destination. We don't have to beg. I don't have to beg anybody.
Mr. Ashad, with the 3 minutes.
No, I still have
please
a second, please. This is being taken, Mr. Kim. This case has a young man paid his price. He has a hearing loss. He lost his hearing. He has a brain damage. What else? You want me just to give me 3 minutes for this, and nothing is being taken, and many letters, many emails, and many things. I need an answer. Where is the evidence? For God's sake, where is the evidence? How can we send these criminals home and say, thank you for doing a good job, beating a minor and destroying his life forever? Would you like this for your kids? Anybody like it for his kids? Show me. I want an answer from the chief, and I want an answer from every citizen in this. If this is accepted for this kid, for their children, I will accept it for my child. I have to put up with my son for his trauma. Every night he cannot sleep. This is a trauma. A child being kidnapped, beaten, a gun put in his mouth and hitting, with all the photos I presented to the council. For God's sake, be human. We are human. We cannot just keep saying, you know what, you can't shut up people. Mr. Kim, this is a very serious crime. This is a very serious business. What is an action is being taken? I've been asking the city council for almost a year. You look at your calendar and look at the calendar. It's from October 17, 2014. And today what we are? It's almost a year and 1 month. People need to be fired. If a cop is caught, corrupted, need to be fired, regardless who is he. And there's so cover up. There is a lot of cover up.
Mr. Mohammed, Mr. Ashad, did you fill the complaint?
The complaint letter is sent to you all, to the councilman, and to the city manager and to the chief.
Okay, so Mr. Ashad, our city manager will look into the case to taking care of it.
Thank you.
Okay, the other person, next person, Benjamin Holton. EDC report. Do they have a EDC meeting?
Mr. Mayor,
yeah, go ahead, please.
Of the city, I guess it's city council. Got to work with this one, with the city council. This is just a short little report to give you an idea what's going on with the EDC. We have worked and we're moving forward. To this point, working directly, we have helped 4 businesses to get established in Calexico. We're moving forward with our awards, the stature awards. So what I'm trying to say is that we're moving forward, our commission has acted, and I give these reports not because I'm asked to, because I think it's the right thing to do to let the council and the people of Calexico know what's going on. And this is just a short, brief little report that we're active, we're moving forward, we're helping businesses, and also we have had a meeting with the industrial side of the house in Mexicali, the EDC for the industrial side, and we have some new concept that we'll be discussing at this upcoming meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holton. Next person, Senora Norma Velez. After Senora Velez, we only have one more person to speak for the public comment.
Good evening. I don't want to repeat myself because I've been here many times, but as you can see the photos I give you, that's the problems we've been having for years. I think around, 107 years now? So I hear that they're trying to do against something about the alley, and they're waiting for somebody to give a permit. And I'm waiting to know who's giving the permit so I can know what's going about happened. And if whatever it is, I'm open to an explanation and something that will be safe for me, safety, and a good service from the water. I show you where is the pipe water and all the contamination that is there. The gas line, you saw the gas line when they started working there. They just pass on top of that without knowing what it means, that yellow thing. And they disappeared until the gas company came and asked me, where is your gas line inside my fence? I show it, and from there go across the alley to where it comes. So that's a danger for me, my house, my life. If they came digging without knowing that you have to call first before you dig, and they didn't. So the water line is known as the city. They told me they might fix a new water line for me because I'm the only one who using the water line over there in the alley. They have water on the back of the alley where the jam is. They get in the water there. Mine comes all the alley, I don't know, from Pauline into the alley to my house. So it's very easy if they give the water from the back. That's what they told me. But I don't see anybody doing anything in there. I play in that dirt. When I was a kid, my kids play in that dirt, but I didn't let my grandchildren play there because that condition. It's a shame, and I never complained because I was expecting somebody do something for what it was, the beautiful city I grew up. And that's sad. We used to have that big porch in my old house with those, I don't know, those, how do you call those that the soldiers have? They sleep on those cots. Yeah, that's why you used to live there, safely in our porch. Now I live alone. I'm concerned about Ali. I have a question really expect something good from you.
I have a question for staff. So, is there any way to relocate that meter? Is there a reason why she has the meter and in the alley? I continue to push strongly for these alley abandonments for this same reason, because I mean it's just a place where a lot of the homeless hang out, and is that a picture of somebody with going to the bathroom there?
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
Yeah. And who cleans? Hello? Yeah. Nobody cleans there. Nobody cares. I don't have police. I don't have security in any way. Nobody listens. So why I complain? I'm complaining here in front of these people. Maybe somebody will listen. Maybe one of you will pay attention to my case, to my security. So I think it's about time. I'm old enough. I've been living with that situation for so many years.
I guess, Mr. City Manager, could we maybe...
Yes, I will go visit Mrs. Velez, okay, and then get this situation taken care of.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Mr. I don't can't do that. Mr. Philly. Mr. Philly. Would you get the information later on too? Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So you've been instructed, you're going to look into the case?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, next person for the public comment, Mr. Jason Zhang.
Hello. Sorry I missed you guys last week, but oh, there's Chief Bostic outside. I wanted to make a comment about him. You know what? He needs to go because he's creating a lot of liability for the city. You know, the officers are going to get sued. Mr. Mohammed Asaid was up here telling you guys how he botched his investigation, how they're not paying attention to his case. And what's going on? The police chief is chasing a bunch of ghosts, but he's not doing his job. All of a sudden, he says that he has no pending investigations. Now he has 18 or 19 or 20. What, he wants to secure his job for another year? Milk the city for some more money? That's one. Number two, I mentioned somebody's name that wanted to be a chief here or something, and then as soon as I left, Lieutenant Gerardo, or Chalo, who's not here today unfortunately, comes up to me and tells me, hey, I'm homegrown. How come you don't want me to be the chief? Do you guys really want another politician to be the police chief? And you know, I mean, I don't know what Chief Bostic's thinking about having him on his staff, because one day Chalo told me outside, hey, Bostic's about to get fired. I guess he has inside track information that I have no idea of. Another thing, once again referring back to Mr. Mohammed's comment about the police department being corrupt, I think that's the word he used. You know, there was a traffic accident about 5 years ago on 2nd and Chavez by the New River. It was a fatal accident. And one of the new lieutenants, I think his name is Serrano, he was a freshly appointed lieutenant at the time, got on the scene and the fire guys told him, hey, we smell liquor coming from this guy. There was beer cans around the floor supposedly. And the officer told him, hey, I'm going to go to regional to draw blood and investigate this. What did Lieutenant Serrano say? No, you're not. You're going to stay here and investigate this. You're going to control your scene. What happened is this. The guy went to the hospital. He refused medical treatment, walked away, and he was never seen again. You have a vehicular manslaughter case that is still open and pending because the lieutenant didn't want to let his officer go over there and follow protocol. It's still open. Go check it on the books. When the family finds out about what happened, the city's going to get sued. And you have incompetent lieutenants like that sitting around and doing nothing. Another thing, I think it's Mr. Moreno's nephew. I think they told me it was your nephew with a shotgun in the trunk. They arrested him for what? Transporting a shotgun, which is perfectly legal? Then the kid sued the city, which every given right he has to. I would have taken the city for a lot more money if I was him. He settled. Why are you violating people's civil rights? You have a corrupt police department. Then one more thing before I go. Why is Chalo telling people that he'll support them to be chief if he gets promoted to commander? He's doing backdoor deals. This is what's getting the city in trouble. That's why the city is the way it is right now. And Chalo's telling people, oh, I'll push you and I'll help you and I'll help you become police chief if you promote me to commander. Please. And I got that straight from the horse's mouth. And I'll tell you who it is. And you guys need to investigate him. Thank you.
Please. Thank you, Mr. Chung. Okay, now we have public comments finished. We come to the council. Any council member wants to speak? Mr. Real?
I don't have a lot to say, but I want to ask everybody to keep these people in Paris in our prayers. I think that it's extreme what's happening in the world. These terrorists and all these things that are going on. I want to thank all the business owners that are here. Hopefully we'll get something done tonight. And that's about it.
Thank you. Mr. Moreno?
Yeah, I'd like to thank city staff, city manager, and anyone who had a hand in putting together the Veterans Day celebration last week. Also, I had the opportunity of meeting potential Senate candidate or Senator Loretta Sanchez, who met with a group of individuals from the county and the area last week as well. And I got to hand it to Melrose They're finally fixing that building on 2nd Street. It's been 5+ years since the earthquake, and I think that's the last one. Now we got to fix all the vacant buildings. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moreno. Mr. Castro?
Well, in my case, I didn't make it to the Veterans Day celebration, but for all those people, men and women who serve for the military, for this country, I respect them, and for me, it's an honor to congratulate them because they give us the opportunity to live here safe in this country. And well, that's kind of sad I didn't make it, but my respect to all these people. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Castro. Okay, so first of all, I went to thanking for the city staff, and the Veterans celebration was a lot successful than last time, and a short time, but we did good. And also, I had a chance to personally to thank the veterans because, as you know, I'm Korean. The Korean War veterans were there. That's why I could be here today. Because that time was Korea almost been invaded by the communists. So U.S. Army that came in to save the South Korea. Well, and the other one is new port of entry groundbreaking. We opened a new chapter of the Calexico, and then we are the ones to what's called the gate of the border. So we're going to have an impacting to our city. So our staff and city council's job, those changes, we're looking into connected our city's benefit as much as we can get benefit from there. And also, I was mentioning a little bit, I was sad about our budget conditions, and I've been predicted we're gonna be overspending. So I think so. Citizens and staff has to be aware. We might have to take some action to adjusting those laws. So we need ask the community and the city staff to cooperate to get through this hard time. Thank you. Okay, now city manager's report.
Good evening, Honorable Council and members of the audience. I had the pleasure of attending the Veterans Day services celebration we had here at the memorial, and I want to commend staff for doing a terrific job in preparing the celebration. They did one great job. I also had the pleasure of attending the GSA groundbreaking ceremony, where we're looking at finally getting our new port of entry getting built starting December, and which will have a completion date of I think 2017, 2018. So that we're looking forward to that. It's a long time coming. I want to also mention that at our next council meeting, we should have an update on our financial report. So that'll be forthcoming. Eduardo and the staff at finance have been working diligently, not only on that, but getting us up to speed on all our financials, and of course working with Mr. Panamagetti to get our audits in order. And just want to let everybody know that we will be closing City Hall on Friday, November 20th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. to hold our staff's Thanksgiving luncheon. You're all invited to attend. It's a way of us thanking our staff for all the hard work and giving thanks to them in our celebration. So I apologize for any inconvenience this may cause to some of you, but I think it's important that we do celebrate with our staff and give them thanks for all their hard work that has come out throughout the year. And finally, I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Well, our next meeting will be till December, so those of you I don't see out in town, I just want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Finley. Okay, now we go to the consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered to routine by the City Council, Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency's successor agency, or Calexico Financing Authority, and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the City Council. Is there any council member wish to pull the items?
Make a motion to approve consent calendar.
Second.
I would like to pull item number 7.
Number 7, okay. And anything else? So would you make the motion, amend the motion, please?
He needs to rescind it.
I will rescind my motion. I'll make a motion to approve 6, 8, 9, 10.
I will rescind my second, and I'll second your motion.
Okay, the motion made by Mr.
Real quick.
Leal.
After the second, just a quick discussion, real quick on number 9.
So you want to discuss it, we need to pull out.
No, that's fine. Aye.
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 Thank you. Passed by 4-0. Okay, let me see here. The item removed from consent calendar for discussion, number 7. Mr. Castro?
Yes, I have a question. On the first page here, it says here for the warrants from October 16, 2015 to October 30, 2015. So that's from October 16 to October 30th. We are talking about 2 weeks, and the expenditures are 1.7 million, right? Is that correct, Mr. Finance Director?
Yes,
so
that's correct.
My question is, our expenditures in 2 weeks was 1.7 million, right?
Yes, that's correct.
That is correct. In 2 weeks, right? And I'm concerned because there is only 2 weeks. That's the expenditures on October 2015. My question is, we have expenditures for 2 weeks. How come we didn't have revenues from the same month? That's my questions. We have expenditures, but we don't have no revenues. Why? Can you tell us what is the reason we don't have no revenues from the same October 2015? That's my question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we want to develop a new report presentation for you to have investment, revenue, and expenditure for one period. We're doing this, but actually it should be done monthly. It's just to keep you aware currently of the expenses for this period. This is not general fund expenses, Mr. Castro. This is whole city, all funds, including construction, water, sewer. This is not general fund.
Is this enterprise funds?
Included there.
And I don't know if I can. Our general fund is somewhere the $17 million, but
Right.
but the overall is $50 million, I believe.
16 million. Yeah.
No, general fund, but our total budget is like around 46.
15.6, yes.
50?
million, yes.
So that's everything's there. In other words, it's not
It's not just general fund.
It's everything.
It's enterprise and general.
It's everything.
Also, enterprise.
Everything.
Enterprise
Yes.
is a bigger fund, is it not, Mr. City Manager?
That's correct.
And it's only used for certain things, capital improvements on
So if you
water, wastewater treatment, roads and stuff like that.
So if you take a $50 million budget and divide it, out, it makes sense.
And basically, these are just the warrants. This is what was paid out. They're just the expenditures. It's not a financial report that gives you the revenues. It's just what was paid out. Paid out. If you guys would like a more detailed report, that'll be coming at the next meeting, where the financial will have some revenues and have the expenditures.
Okay.
Okay, so
make a motion to.
Okay, I have some questions.
Oh.
Okay, first of all, the page 2. We have about 8 or 10 of them. The LCW, Liberty Cassidy Whitmore. They're talking around $40,000 we're spending with the lawyer.
What's the question?
Is that it's one case, or was it several different cases?
Which one are you talking about, Mr. Kim?
Page
Liberty Cassidy, page 2.
Second page, page 2, at the middle. I think check number 10111.
Now, this is related to several cases, not just one case.
Several different cases.
Different cases.
And these are back from what occurred, bills from August 31st. It's those bills that we're catching up on that weren't paid, and so we're now paying them. These are from the attorney's office representing the city in regards to these issues.
So that is caused by former administrations.
That is correct.
Okay. Page 3. First line, collect the 10 over studio, $10,000 for 111, 10,411 and 40 cents. Calexico Police Headquarters Program and the feasibility study invoice number, whatever, July 31st.
Correct. That's another bill that wasn't paid, that we found that needed to be paid, and it's from past administration.
What is this for exactly?
It was a feasibility study that was done on the police department.
Looks like it's July 31st, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Feasibility study?
I'd have to research it. It was before my time, and I could research it and tell you exactly.
Yeah, I would like to give direction to research.
I think it's from the financial departments. If we have anything's bill pending or whatever done, we need to get a bill. I think we need to have justify that one. We don't want some fake invoice coming in through to say we did it. They pay it, charge us.
Could we ask the chief on this? Maybe he should know.
No,
about
I'm not only for the police department. I believe several the bill.
I know, but the chief is here. He could maybe tell us what the feasibility study was about.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Do you want it?
So we'll.
Yeah, back in July of this year, I briefed the council on the Veritas study, the management study that was done on the department, and they did a major audit of 10 over studio. 10 over studio was a feasibility study for the police facility, where we were looking at combining the police and fire facilities and building one facility. So they were doing the actual study and analysis of what it would cost, and when we found out, we didn't move forward. Too expensive. It's like $28 to $30 million to build a police facility. Yeah. So we saved ourselves a bunch of money and didn't get involved in that by doing that study.
Wow.
Okay, thank you.
Was it going to be built in Beverly Hills or La Jolla?
Okay, Mr. Castro, you have more question?
Yeah.
If you,
how come, for example, on page 9,
Page 9.
Yes, page 9, yeah. Page 9, yeah, it is 9.
Before 8, after, before 10, after 8.
Yeah, how come we don't have the, like, for example, the hunters' employment? We have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, 9. 9.
It's different employees.
Yes, I understand that. But my point is, how come we don't have no subtotal of the account? We like in this case we need to add. We need to add in order to have the subtotal. How come you didn't print the subtotal of each account? That's my question.
Maybe we can give direction that after each, for example, I did see that the IID has a lot of, every single park and every single light has an IID bill. Is there a way we can consolidate it all at the bottom and maybe put a total amount?
Yes, yeah, it can be.
It can be done? Okay.
It can be.
Can we get
Or extend it to the right.
Would the council like to give direction to have that on there
Yes.
for the next
I
meeting?
think so. We need to ask the summaries for the budget with all the detail with the summary. Summary gonna
The
work
summary
out.
is good, but also like under every like group,
Yeah.
just a quick
We need
amount.
a subtotal.
Yeah, we can get that.
Under each vendor, basically.
For each vendor, that's the word.
For each vendor,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay, we'll
Thank
do
you.
that for the next report.
Thank
Okay.
you.
That's it.
Motion to approve item number 7.
Second.
Aye.
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 I would like a motion to move up item 14. Seems like we have some people here, and they might want to maybe leave early.
Well,
do I have a second to move that up?
Second.
Move up item 14
14 to the next item?
to the next item.
I don't have no problem.
Aye.
That's fine. Aye.
okay, hi. So next time, please, if you have a mind, to please at the approval agenda, you can ask to move
At
up
the
front.
beginning.
Yeah, at the
Oh,
beginning.
I'm supposed to do it at the beginning? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I don't know the proper protocol there.
Yeah, and
I guess you can ask the attorney, rather than ask this attorney, you can ask that attorney.
And also you have to think about when you move around, so people think about, oh, I can go late, and then if you move it earlier, so they're gonna lose chance to come. So
I would ask for a second opinion, Mr. Real.
okay. So we're
I
gonna
would
go to number
ask for a
14?
second opinion about moving items on the agenda. I think that's what Mr. Kim was referring to. Mr. Real had requested and made a motion to move item 14 before the consent calendar after the agenda was approved. Is that okay?
It depends on the typical procedure of the council, but if that's what the council wants to do, it's within the council discretion.
Okay.
Wow.
Thank you.
I mean, sometimes stuff comes up and stuff needs to be moved around, and sometimes councils have policies and procedures that deal with those issues. If you do, I'm unaware of it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're gonna move the number 14 at the front. So the temporary reduction of the redevelopment impact fee and the building planning and the fire inspection fee for the residential areas only. Councilmember Real and the Councilmember Moreno was requested. And before we starting the public comments, I think I need to have some clarification from Mr. Finley. Mr. Finley, the number 14, I believe something misleads the people. They were saying City of Calexico tried to increase the fees, but as an agenda, we are trying to reduce the fees. Something, kind of like a flyer I received that was saying City of Calexico tried to increase the fee. Actually, we are trying to reduce the fees. So I think that we need a clarification for the community. without unnecessary to argument during the public comment time, since we have about 20 persons talk.
Okay. Yeah, basically this item was brought forth to reduce the impact fees and fees that we charge, not increase them, as due to the fact that we are currently the highest, we have the highest fees in the county, so we're looking to lower them to stimulate some economic growth and job creations and everything else that comes along with it. So basically we're here to discuss the reduction of these fees for a short period of time, whether it be a year and a half, depending on what the council wishes to foretake. And so that's why we're here to discuss these fees and lowering them so we're more compatible with the other cities here in the valley, so we can promote economic growth, create jobs, create some sales revenue and stuff like that. So that's where we find ourselves at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Finley. First person who want to talk, number 14. So first person wants to talk who's Ben Holton. We don't have, I think we have a backup document here. We have a backup document here.
Mr. Mayor, distinguished members no.
Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, distinguished members of the City Council, I have given you a supplement to what you already have. And this has been something that's been ongoing for the Economic Commission since 2008 or 9. When I first came on the commission, the City Council then tasked the Economic Commission to put reports together in reference to assure how the impact fees in reference to what we're being charged in reference to the city, other cities. Economically, we're turning away many businesses and also the people of Calexico that wish to start a business. Certain businesses are being turned away because of the fees. This here is a folder of the fees throughout the valley. As you can see, you have an understanding of the fees. I gave a flash drive to the city manager, to the clerk, and to the economic manager to show the complete with the maximum study and the difference what we're looking at. One of the things I'm looking at this council, I implore you to look at the fees, see the difference in the fees, and reduce the fees to support our local businesses that wish to come into Calexico. This will stimulate growth, not stifle growth. It will stimulate growth in order for the city to move forward and be in the right competitive with the rest of the cities throughout the valley, and if not the rest of the country. I implore you to look at this and to move forward. We have many people here from different segments of the city that are going to be registering their opinions by saying, I register, I do not wish to speak. I hope their names will be acknowledged. And there are others who wish to speak in reference to this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do something for our city that will be positive, that will show us what we are. Something that tomorrow you can read the newspaper and say Calexico did something great. Great, ladies and gentlemen. We are a great city. Let's do something to show our greatness to the rest of the world the valley, to what we stand for. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holton. Next person, Tutoya? Mr. Tutoya? Tafoya. Sorry. TU.
Hello, my name is Zar Tafoya. As a new business owner here in the city of Calexico, I would like to say that I'm all for reducing the fees for new development. It's a great city, and hopefully reducing the fees will bring in new businesses, new development, excuse me, so that the city will grow and to its full potential of being the great city that it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tafoya. Okay, next person, Mr. Ramirez. Mr. Ramirez?
Ramirez? R? Ramirez?
Ramirez, no?
Ben Ramirez?
The
It should be right there, it should be stated.
Ben Ramirez, no?
Right up here.
Oh, in favor of recommendation, okay.
Get the name for the record, please. Delfino
Ramirez. And other person, Socorro Calderon, same as supporting, said, but not to speak. And another person, Marta Otero, supporting it, but not to speak. Luis Flores, supporting, but not to speak. Maria G. Dublin, supporting, to not to speak.
Who is it again?
Maria G. Dublin.
Okay. Dublin. Like Ireland.
Other person, Lourdes Jimenez, to supporting but not to wish to talk. And other person, Carla the Velasquez, to supporting but not to wish to not to speak. And person Eduardo Guzman.
You look familiar, sir. Do you used to be a city councilman or a mayor?
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Eduardo Guzman, previous councilman, a while back in the 90s. That's great what you're doing. Whoever's doing it, comparing other cities, and I know Mandy's doing a great job at it, because that's the way to do it. That's the common sense that I've been talking about. It's calling other cities to see how they're doing, and if they're doing everything peaceful and they're doing their work, well, learn from them. That's all we can do. This is the common sense. This is not at all about high education. I have nothing against education, but what we're representing is a town that does not have the high education, but they're business people. They came here for the American dream. We want to make sure they don't end up with an American nightmare. So in this case, we got to do whatever we can to save money. We know for facts right here that we're the highest city in the valley. Even comparing San Diego to, we're probably higher than them too. At some time, the economy was so good that it didn't care. People were paying top dollar. They just wanted to come in here and do business because everything was doing good. But right now, everybody's doing bad. One other thing that I do suggest to that you should look into, it's reducing those business licenses too. And I know, and I checked around, and there's a lot of people behind, 2 years, 3 years behind on their business licenses. And I can understand them because they got rent to pay, high rents, the higher rents in the valley too, right here in the valley. I noticed back in the 90s we tried to address the property owners or the building owners to come down on their rent so that people can stay in business. But a lot of these owners here in downtown, they're not here. They're inherited by their kids or whatever, and then they don't really listen to it, and they don't care how the economy goes here. But we do care, the ones that live here. So there's another avenue we should look at into reducing the licenses for the people. And then the last, I would say that there's a lot of people that owe licenses for years. You should make an amendment and say, listen, if you pay by now, you'll get money into the city, pay before December, get some money, because after Christmas goes, a lot of people are going to be closing their business. We're not going to get a penny from them. They're gone. Goodbye. We get some cash now and let them come up today with 50%, come up to normal, and then everybody will be in business next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guzman. Next person, Armando Martinez.
¿Qué tal? Buenas noches, mi nombre es Armando Martínez y yo vengo en representación de un grupo de comerciantes que hemos estado formando una asociación precisamente para hacer presencia aquí en la ciudad con el propósito de que nos permitan oxigenar nuestro negocio. Esta iniciativa que se propuso en la junta pasada parece ser que se está cocinando a buen tiempo y esperemos que ustedes, los que van a tomar la resolución, nos den una buena noticia. Yo, como les dije en un principio en una junta que vine, sería bueno que la gente los recordara por buenas acciones y no por una decisión equivocada que ustedes pudieran tomar. ¿Por qué? Porque hay un dicho por ahí, ¿no?, que es mejor que los recuerden bien y no que se las recuerden bien, ¿verdad? Lo único que les pido, por favor, es que consideren que al tomar ustedes esta iniciativa que nos vaya a favorecer, van a oxigenar lógicamente el comercio. Por lógica, van a invitar a las personas que quieran invertir en la ciudad, a tal modo de que sabemos que de esta manera se va a incrementar los ingresos para la ciudad, ¿no? Ojalá y ustedes consideren, hay muchas ideas que todo el mundo aquí podemos traer, pero la finalidad es la última, la de ustedes, la que van a tomar, de tomar en cuenta esa tabla, hacer las reducciones que se tengan que hacer y ajustarnos todos a una realidad, porque muchas veces quieren ajustarnos a nosotros el cinturón, pero la ciudad no hace los ajustes necesarios. Hace rato nos presentaron el informe de las cuentas del 2013 y faltan ahí algunos miles o millones de dólares. Yo recuerdo en una junta inclusive que unas personas del concilio defendieron a capa y espada al administrador poniéndolo en un pedestal muy alto, y ahí nos muestra de que en realidad no es una persona eficiente en las administraciones públicas. Entonces, ahorita, gracias a que ha habido un cambio en el concilio, veo yo que se han hecho cambios muy positivos y espero que sigan continuando haciendo esos cambios. Gracias, señores.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Next person, Nirva Galvez. Nirvana Galvez. Not to speak, but okay, thank you. Calvez. Other person, Luz Calvez. It's not speak. Okay, thank you. In support, not wants to speak. And next person is Jason Jung.
Well, I'm back up here again, but I want to clarify something. You know, Mandy, you called me yesterday. You told me you had to speak to me urgently before this meeting. You told me that the city's going to pay $3 million if this doesn't get approved. Well, pay it. It's all backdoor deals again. You know, you have Mr. Ben Horton picking up all these paperwork from people saying they support this, but they think that the business license fees are going to be lowered. That's not the case. You're lowering fees for developers.
Business license is included, actually.
Is it really? Because in that paper that Mr. Horton handed out, it doesn't say nothing about business license.
It's all fees.
And to my understanding is this: if you're going to lower the business license fee, doesn't it have to be agenda and approved and discussed by the council? Is that on the agenda? No. It's not. So you know what? It can't be approved. So you misled all these people into believing and supporting a cause that's going to lower impact fees. You know, all these people think it's impact. They're thinking it's business license fees, but it's not. Where does it say business license fee on there? Because you know what?
Attorney, could you clarify? If there's a motion, because
I think it's just 3 minutes. Let him.
Okay.
You know, and I mean, you're saying business license fees. Please give us clarification on that, because on that paper, it doesn't show nothing about business license fees. And if you are going to discuss business license fees, why don't you follow your protocol and put business license fees to be lowered or studied? And where's your backup to lower all these fees? The city's in a deficit. You're going to lower all these fees for impact fees or whatever it is. Where are you going to make up the difference in monies? On business licenses?
On taxes.
On taxes. So who are you going to tax? So now you're going to
kill businesses that are coming in.
So you're going to kill the profit of the merchant that's going to come in. You're doing one against the other. You're not making sense right now, because you're saying open your business, but we're going to increase the sales taxes or taxes. They're going to end up paying the taxes either way.
Nobody said sales taxes are increasing.
You said taxes.
Please, don't interrupt it, please.
A business is no longer.
Mr. Real, please let the people 33-minute talk.
You're going to make up the deficit that you create by lowering impact fees on taxes of new businesses, right? So now, what's the point of me opening a new business here if you're going to tax me more money to have the business? That's what you said, Mandy. You said you're going to make up the deficit on taxes. You know, I guess we could agree to disagree on that.
Can I?
Please.
Okay. So
you know,
please.
So a new business comes into Calexico.
Okay, please.
It creates taxes.
SB should not.
Correct.
Engaging.
That's what I'm talking about. No, he wants me to engage. I can engage. Correct.
No, but the division is not so proper.
So what I'm saying is this. You know what? Why don't you guys put this, Mr. Kim or Mayor Kim? Why don't you put business license fee waiver consideration, lowering it, raising it, or whatever it is on the next agenda and discuss it? And before you even go there, give us clarification on the signs, because nobody knows what's going on with that. You guys still have that can of worms open. Finish one thing and move on to the next thing, because you guys open up all these cans, do all these things, but you guys never finish one thing. What happened with the signage? Is that closed? Is that a closed matter? So where's the resolution? What happened? People are in limbo. You're talking about lowering fees, this and that. That's fine. Great. Good job. I applaud you for that. But you know what? Before you move on to B, make sure you finish the one you have open right now, which is A, which is your sign ordinance. Finish that and then move on to the next item you have. You guys open up all these items, don't close anything out, and everything just gets stuck in limbo. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Tony, I think we need a clarification that what I believe that we need to make the decision to written agenda. So this agenda is not mentioning at the business license fee, only impact fee, and three things in there.
Yes, in order to take an action, it would have to appear on the agenda. So in this case, the council could act on development impact fees, building, planning, and fire fees, but the business license is not on the agenda. That would have to be brought forward in a different meeting.
Thank you.
City Manager, I know we talked about this issue. You said that the motion could be made to include business license fees. Was there a disconnect here on?
I think we need to have the city managers.
I believe there was. I think the
Because
recommendation.
my understanding was that was going to be on there.
Right, and I apologize for that.
Okay.
And I think it'd be a good idea to bring this back with a proper wording. So we are.
I mean, I think it's better that we can bring it on the agenda, on the next agenda, just business license by itself.
Yes, you can do
Right,
that.
we can do that as well. Okay.
Okay, I think it's in this case, I recommend I direct to city manager to bring all the fees for the reduction and for the next meeting with your recommendation we can take the action on that. So all the fees, not only business license. I believe a lot of ICs will be involved.
I think we do a disservice to all the people that came here to go ahead and support this, to make them come again just for business license fees. We can do that next meeting. That's just me. You know, I just want to add, it's funny how you say that you want to do a study. That's the reason why the sign ordinance hasn't been passed, because it's all these studies that people want to get. You know what? I don't need a study. I'm looking at Calexico. It's ridiculous that we're the city that has the border and El Centro is beating us. We're at war with that city, and they're taking all our jobs, all our businesses, and all the tax money. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. This has to get passed now. We don't have, what time? Another study, Jason? A study? That's why the sign ordinance didn't happen.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. This is the council discussing this at this time, and I have a couple of questions before the emotions run high. Are we going to look at, because it says residential, I also think we should look at industrial zones and commercial zones.
That is included.
Okay,
No, it doesn't say commercial, industrial. And, Mr. Real, you said 12 months. Let's make it 18 months. So if we're really going to do it, let's do it right.
Yeah.
Okay, I think so. Mr. Finley has a recommendation from this.
I think the recommendation would be to bring this back to the next meeting due to the fact that we need to make the clarifications, make sure that it includes the commercial and industrial, due to the fact that it was presented like the item from the last agenda that said residents only. I think we need to come back with a clean item stating that it includes all fees, residential, commercial, and industrial.
Okay,
and Mr. Mayor, let me point out that we're looking. Mr. Mayor, if I may, we need to look at this spreadsheet, because this spreadsheet says a lot about how our city works with investors or people that want to build in Calexico or open up businesses. A lot of the fees that Calexico has in that first column, other cities don't have. Does that mean that they're not needed in other cities? Or is it that we've just added to the mix? And secondly, the outrageous numbers that I see on the left, on the Calexico's column, for example, looking at the first one, which says annexation request review, okay? That is something that deals with the planning department. We charge $18,000. Brawley charges $4,000. El Centro doesn't charge. It's empty. So we need to get in line with the rest of the county. So I think the staff would need to come up and match those numbers with El Centro. Is that correct, Mandy?
Yeah, so that's what.
Yes. Is that correct? So in other words,
that's why I'm giving the direction to the city manager to bring all the fees reduction for next meeting.
I want to make a motion. We just speaking to the attorney right now. He says that the commercial and industrial can be done today. The only thing that should be brought back as commercial and industrial will be the fire fees. So today we could make a motion to, and you know what? In reality, I think the motion that I was going to make, which is, and I don't know if I'll make the motion. You tell me if we can do that accordingly. Was either to change by ordinance or give direction to match fees of the city of El Centro. I think, and I'm just talking about business licenses, permit fees. I know that the city of El Centro is not the lowest up there. It's actually the second highest. But that's, we're not really fighting for these businesses at the city of Hopeville or Brawley. More than anything, El Centro is the one that we're competing with. And so that's my idea, is to at least match the fees of the city of El Centro, not just in commercial, but industrial, residential. Make sure that we get homes built here. Make sure that we get new companies to come in and create, 200, 300, 500 jobs until we understand that these businesses bring jobs, which these people go to restaurants, they shop, they buy, they shop in Calexico, and that creates taxes for the city. I don't know what we're doing with these high fees. So, like I said, that my motion is to match the city of El Centro's fees.
No, I think it's micromanagement. It's a micromanaging of the city staff. City staff, we have to respect city staff's professionalism.
For 18 months.
For professionalism, to make them to bring the recommendation to, we can approve it.
Do you want to come and we have our economic development person here? I mean,
okay,
she can. You have your economic development chair person here, and you know what? The staff can say. In reality, the staff can say a lot of things, but Imperial Avenue, downtown Calexico says more. We need to do something about this. So
okay,
my motion's made. If I have support to lower the fees and match them
let
like El
the
Centro.
staff to come with the recommendations. So as a mayor, I'm directing to city manager to bring all the fee reductions for next meeting with the recommendations.
So
the fees are here. What are you talking about?
Okay, Mr.
No,
Real,
reductions.
yes, they are, but
bring the old agendized. We have to put in the agendized.
But there are other.
This was supposed to be agendized this meeting.
There are other.
Okay, this one last meeting we had this agenda. We just postponed it, bring back to today. So that's why agenda coming today. So we as a mayor to get
But the
directing to
attorney
the city
says
manager.
the attorney says we can do it today.
Yeah, but the partial.
Can you clarify?
Okay.
But
now,
not the
now,
business license.
Mr. Mayor, my question is, you have several schedules, fee schedules here.
Yes.
You have a schedule of development impact fees that has no comparison to other cities. You have the Community Development Department fee schedule that has no comparison to other cities. And then you have Development Department deposits. How are they aligned with what the first page is offering? Just anyone from staff?
Just as high.
This one's from
You
the
want to
staff.
talk about it? You should.
So
I'm asking a question, Mr. Mayor. Hopefully the staff can answer that question. This is a legitimate question.
Mr. Finley?
This other documentation was provided, I believe, by Mr. Horton.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm going to say something, and I hope that I say it in the 2009, we were directed by the City Council to put this study together. Now, this City Council has the ability to add, to amend, but let's start with something. Keep it simple. Mr. Real says to match El Centro. We can start off with that and move forward. Or we can be stagnated and have another talk, have another talk, have another talk. Mr.
Horton and city staff, what were the fees prior to 2009?
Okay,
has anybody researched that?
Okay, if you look at the maximum study, it's in the flash drive.
Okay, the fees.
You can look at if you can get to
when development was really happening.
Okay, it's there.
Can we look at that? Can we go back instead of you know.
Okay, if you look at the fees before the maximum study, it was lower.
Lower than what? Than what they
you
are
have
now? Absolutely, that's why I agree. Can we go back to those? I mean, that sustained the city for a while.
Okay, here's something. As a city council, you can go back to anywhere you want to go because you set policy.
Right, we can go back to 2008 fee schedule.
You can do that.
Which would eliminate all of this and go back to...
Before the maximum study, you can go back what it was before.
Can we have that information?
You have the information. It should be in the study.
Just go back to 2008 now.
We can provide
They're going to be lower, I'm going to tell you that.
Okay, because it was a whole different world. You had this maximum study. They went to the maximum amount they could charge the people of Calexico, the maximum amount. With the maximum study, you could go anywhere in between, lower, whatever. But the city of Calexico elected to go to the maximum amount that you could charge without maybe going to jail. And one of the other things is, if you look at the state of California, and I have that in the maximum study, you cannot charge more than what it costs to provide the service.
Okay, now thank you, Mr. Holton. I believe that we have to have, in order to lower the fee, we have to renegotiating our expenses too, because all the expenses that we have, we are highest salaries and benefits in the valley. That's why they jack up all the prices to, I'm sorry my language, but we increase all the fees there, and then just squeeze the community. They believe they could it is a golden goose, but it's no longer. So we need to have to reduce the fees, especially in the small business and the residential community hurting. I believe that we need to respect the professional recommendation. So due diligence with Mr. Finley to bring that one to next meeting to bring all the fees that we can decide it.
Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for that microeconomic theory of excellence. But I think Mr. Holloway wants to say something.
You want to say something, please?
City Council, Mayor, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I understand this is this is an important subject for the city. It really is. It's for the future of the city, and I think it's something that we really have to pay attention. We have to really look at what's going on here. As you're putting this together, you want to bring this back, Mr. Kim. I understand. It's okay. What I would like to know, if there is any way that we can find out what we have been missing, how much of this over the last 5 years or 6 years, 7, I don't know how many, have people actually taken advantage of these? How much have we lost on this is what I'm trying to say. People coming into Calexico, looking at our fees. Is there a way to determine that, Nick?
Drive to El Centro.
How many people went here and went to El Centro? I mean, I don't know if that's a possibility, feasibility. I honestly don't know.
It's nearly impossible because we don't track that.
Okay. Well, you know, that I think is, you know, what I'm trying to say is I don't know when these fees were raised. Again, you know, 2008, we're talking about what happened in 2008, going back to 2008. But I'll be honest with you, Council. I mean, things aren't what they used to be 10, 15 years ago. I mean, it didn't matter 10, 15 years ago. I think it's been brought up here that this was a happening city. It's not there anymore. We can take a look, just go to our 2nd Street and take a look at what's happening. I don't do business the way I did 20 years ago. If I did, I'd be out of business today. You know, things come in, things change. I think we have to be the same way. The city needs to be run like a business. We have to look at it as a business. If competition is kicking us in the butt, then we need to do what we have to compete. That's what I have done. I think that's what most of everybody has done here in this city to compete. And I think it's very important for the future of our city. This is very important.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So that's why I'm saying that we need to rely on the city's
I would like to
professionalism to bring us to we can lower as much as we can, at the same time to not jeopardizing the city's running.
Kim, ever since, Mayor Kim, ever since, even before I was on council, you know, it just shocks me that you've never wanted to take the staff's consideration, and all of a sudden on this item you do. It's really awkward. But I just want to say something, you know, when a business is coming to the valley, and I'm talking any business, they don't care if we have the highest paid chief of police or the highest paid employees. They don't care about that. They care about making money. And when they come to a city and they see that it's cheaper to go to El Centro than it is Calexico, that's where they're going to go. El Centro is the place to do business now. And I don't even know if matching El Centro's fees would even help us. The war might already be lost. But we gotta try. But we gotta try. And there's no reason. Look, this whole thing about doing a study and everything, the study doesn't matter. We have to match El Centro because they're the ones they're the ones we're fighting for these businesses
that's
against.
What I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Why do studies when the fees are right here? And you don't. All you have to do is match El Centro's fees, and that's it. It's that simple. Why make it more of a staff time, everybody's time, if we already know who's beating us? It's the city of El Centro. Businesses are going that way. We need to do it. That's all I'm saying. We can make studies all day long.
First of all, when we try to trust the staff, when we respect them, we have to working with them. You were saying as my last couple of years I've been against the administration because I don't trust them. Look at whatever budget we have. Over $3 million overspended. They said we have balanced budget. That's whole big lies to us. But now I believe we have right directions where we try to work with the staff. There's nothing wrong to try to work with the staff.
I think something needs to be.
And also the problem. I'm not saying that we need to study another 6 months, another ones. I'm saying is we need a temporary to reduce it. I'm okay with the months and the 2 years. 1 year, 2 years. I'm okay with it. But we still have to go to our study to based on our expenditure to see what is we can stable.
A study like that.
A study is just a study for the future.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a question? And I know Mr. Real had brought this up based on another city's dealing with such issues. And that was the city of Riverside, if I'm not mistaken. Can we look at their fees and what they're charging and kind of compare, or are we just going to go boom? We're going to dive into this.
Look, let me just give my last.
I think there needs to be some specifics here.
Let me give my last statement. Like I said, we can. My motion is to match the city of El Centro for 6 months and have staff in those 6 months bring us something tangible that then we can look at and vote on. But right now, I think it's important that we do something about it now. And in turn, it gives us 6 months or a year to see how many people come and apply for business licenses that want to open. Hey, if that works, then fine. And at the same, like I said, we could do it for 6 months or a year for a specific amount of time, and then have staff, economic development and finance, and everybody get together and say, you know what? Yes, we can live with these. But to put this off for another 6 months or a year because to do a study, I mean, come on.
That's a good point, Mr. Mayor. That's a good point, Mr. Real. But if you want to match them, so in other words, let's look at that first one. For example, we've got the annexation request review sphere of influence amendment. In Calexico, it's 18,000. In El Centro, it's 0. So in other words, that would go to 0.
No, I think they're on
the third one, the third column, the first column, the first line.
Well, we're not sure if it's 0, but if it's not, the city could call El Centro and find out what the cost is and match it.
So in other words, we're not sure what that is right now. Then
there's another. Do you have the other paper?
Yeah, I do. It's another, it's the.
Yeah,
the-
I don't know
the-
why
the
that's
next-
not
the
in
next
the-
page.
and then-
the next page on your backup.
it's the
The
next
only thing
page.
is it doesn't have that item on that page, so we would have to.
No,
we'd
we don't
to-
have it either.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to.
You should have that.
But
You should have that.
All the ones that are missing, most of the ones that are missing up there are on this paper here. And,
So if there's one like, for example, appeals to city council, there's nothing that Calexico charges. However, Brawley charges 200 and El Centro doesn't charge, so that would stay the same.
Correct.
All right. Business license inspection zoning 274 for Calexico, and nobody else charges anything else. I'm talking about the 274 right there.
Correct. So we would charge nothing, so to be on par with that.
Okay, so
He needs to come up to the podium to speak. You can ask the mayor.
You know what? Let me make the motion one last time. My motion. Let's just go 6 months. Match El Centro and give direction to staff to come back with some
Something competitive.
Something competitive. So for 6 months we would match the city of El Centro's fees.
And those would be the fees that are mentioned here. on
For
the
now,
agenda.
yes. And then we'll
In the
bring
third
it
column.
and then we can bring the other fees to the next meeting.
The reduction of development impact fees and reduction of building, planning, and fire fees for residential, so.
And
the
then
impact
next
fees
meeting
are
we'll
for
bring commercial and industrial.
so that means the Grand Plaza is going to be take the $500,000, $2 million just a cut off from there.
Grand
Yeah,
Plaza.
Grand Plaza, they are opposing the another plaza.
Okay, I'll make a motion
phase
that we
two.
charge Grand Plaza double. How's
No,
that?
not that.
Okay, that's what you want? Okay, I'll
No,
make
we
a
have to be
motion.
careful.
Let's make a motion that we charge Grand Plaza triple and
We'll call it the June Kim clause.
yeah. Taxation. My goodness. So I mean, that's the motion.
What is it again? Could you repeat it?
Motion is to match the city of El Centro's fees for 6 months while the staff gives us some backup, a study if you want with the rate study done from a company or from you guys. Unfortunately, right now we can't do it for anything other than what's there. And then next meeting we can bring the rest of it into effect, so commercial and industrial.
Let me second that for discussion. And just one more question, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, go ahead.
And it may be to staff. When was, have these, Mr. Horton or Mr. Finley, have these fees for El Centro changed?
No, they're the same
No,
fees.
they have not.
They're pretty well stable.
Correct.
Okay, that's all the question I have.
So this one is only residential only.
I second the motion.
Okay.
And I asked my question.
So I'll take my vote. Aye.
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 So we're going to be reduce the clarification is we are reducing.
Now, just for clarification, this is unfortunately, it's only for residential this meeting, but we will put it on the next. Is that correct or no? It's industrial and commercial.
Residential.
Residential only. This is the residential only.
Well, no, the agenda is somewhat ambiguous. I think you could take the position that you can, for development fees, you can do residential, commercial, industrial.
Okay.
For building, planning, and fire fees, you only have residential.
Okay. Okay. So.
The just impact fees for the building, planning, and the financial, the residential areas only.
And I would like to give direction to the attorney so that you can kind of word it for the next meeting. This happened twice already, you know.
So bring all the fees.
The only reason it was worded that way is because it was a continuance from the last meeting and it had to be worded the same way.
Correct.
The next item for the next agenda will
one
be
question
different.
for the attorney. Sorry, John. Could we give direction? I mean, I know we haven't voted on it, but can we give direction to city manager to go ahead and start matching fees as of now?
Would it take 30 days to go in effect after it's been approved is my question.
Not necessarily.
Or would it go immediately?
Immediately.
It's a resolution, it's effective immediately, if you direct it to be effective immediately.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
is typically the case.
Okay.
Okay.
So it goes effect immediately. Now, would the balance of the council like to give direction to start with the commercial and
Okay,
industrial.
Mr. Leal, I already gave as mayor, I will give the direction to the city manager to bring all the fees to bring into with the recommendations, bring into the reduction.
So, attorney, can you give us just clarification on what exactly we just passed?
My understanding of what you just passed is you have reduced the development impact fees for commercial, residential, industrial across the board.
No, this is not the commercials. Only
Yes.
the residential
For
only.
development impact fees, everything.
Okay.
To match those in
El Centro.
El Centro. Now, with respect to building, planning, and fire fees for only for residential.
Okay, so that's the one we would have to bring back for commercial and industrial. Okay.
But this one is only clarified to
hold on. Let
residential
me clarify something else. And then the development impact fees we didn't reduce for residential.
You reduced
Yeah,
it for
residential only.
Okay, all right.
All for the residential only, this one.
No.
No.
Well, my understanding was the council intended to reduce development impact fees across the board.
No, it's what the residential only.
For residential only?
Yes.
That's fine.
Residential only for this time.
Okay, well, that was the intention, that's fine. So we've...
Wait a minute.
Why don't we have another motion and let's have another vote, because apparently we didn't understand what we were doing.
I thought it was residential, commercial, and industrial.
We're going to bring it for the next meeting to match it.
Okay.
Okay, so for now, I'll make my motion again. So the motion is to match the City of El Centro on development impact fees and building permit and fire fees as, for now, as residential.
Across the board residential?
Across the board residential.
Okay.
For, I think 6 months is 12 months?
6 months while we made the study
Okay,
and then make it competitive.
6 months?
Or you can go a year.
A year? Just do 12 months?
Yeah, 12 months.
Okay, so for 12 months residential, and we're going to bring back the commercial and the industrial at the next meeting.
All other fees.
But we all have to
All other
rescind our previous motion so that you can make a new motion, right, Mr. Mayor?
I think if we make the motion to supersede the prior motion, that would be sufficient.
Okay.
Well, thank you, City Attorney.
So 12 months, reduction of development impact fees, building permit and fire fees for residential only for now, for 12 months. That's my motion.
Yeah.
Second.
Second.
Sorry, second.
Second by Mr.
I second my
Castro.
motion.
Aye. Both? Aye.
Aye. Could you repeat the motion? No. Aye.
So for the people that are here, business owners, it's going to be on the next agenda item. On the next agenda to do the same thing, but for commercial and industrial.
And also,
it's
you
a
want to
business
bring back
license.
the
All the
business
fees.
license also?
Business
All the
license
fees.
also.
All the fees, okay. Okay.
Okay, so now number 14 is done. Number 11,
Okay, I'm leaving.
approve the holiday schedule.
So moved.
Do I say second? Motion second by Mr. Leal. If it's a vote,
Aye.
aye.
Did we pick the one that has the Wednesday off? Correct. For thanks.
That's correct. Castro, Mr. Castro?
Yes.
Okay, it's 4-0.
So is that number one, right? Yeah, that one. Number one, Wednesday.
By Councilman Real.
Yeah, it's number 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I just have a question. What are we eating?
Pardon?
What are we eating for?
Number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah, number 1 is. Okay, 12. Authorize the interim city manager to sign agreement amendment with Lee and Low Incorporation in the amount of the $29,907 for compliance, consultation, engineering, administrative staff services for the city of Calexico, SWRCB, order number 2013-001-DWQ, NPDES, permit number CA 00004.
So moved.
This is for Cesar Chavez, correct?
No, this is for a stormwater management plan
Okay.
that we're required to put together, and it's in our MS4 program.
Okay.
We had currently had a contract with Lee and Rowe for $99,000, and that was for the preparation of the plan and, of course, the permits and the reporting. The only thing is that it was left out one of the reporting years, and so this is an amendment to the original contract of $29,907, so we can complete the reporting year and then be in compliance.
Okay. Second.
Second, for the discussion. Why we have to do again of this?
It's because the amount of the additional report, it was one of the reports was left out, so that's why we had to come back before you with a $29,000 increase for the second report.
So we made the wrong contract.
Correct.
We're missing.
We left it out. Yes, it was left out.
Thank you. The motion.
There's a first and a second. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 13. Introduce the waive the first reading of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Calexico, repealing ordinance number 1144 and amendments section 2.02.110 and chapter 2.07 of the Calexico Municipal City Code regarding the appointment process and the duties of the city clerk.
Yeah, well, this matter was before you at the last meeting, and the purpose of this is, as it's currently in place, the city manager appoints the city clerk. This would provide that the city council appoints the city clerk.
So is there a motion to approve it?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second by motion by Mr. Castro, second by Mr. Real. To be vote? Aye.
Aye.
No.
The 4-1, 3-1. Mr. Moreno said no. The passed. Number 15, appointment by mayor and the council members to various commissions, board and committees. Economic Development Commissions, appointment by Mayor Pro Tem Castro.
Not yet until.
Okay. Business Improvement District, Council Member Hurtado and Council Member Moreno.
I think Saul Garcia, is he here?
So you're going to name Saul Garcia?
You're going to name Saul Garcia?
So I think.
No, nobody.
Nobody yet, okay. And then the Recreation Commission, appointed by Mayor Kim, I don't have yet, but it might be next time. And the Financial Advisory Board, appointment by Council Member Hurtado. She's not here, so we done number 15, future agenda items.
I have, aside from the future agenda item that the whole council wants, which is to make sure that the next meeting we don't have this issue with the wording on the reduction of fees. There's something that the council did, and I forget when exactly it was, but we established a senior citizen commission, and nothing's, I mean, it's like nothing's happened. I think we all have senior citizen commissioners, I think.
Oh, but we only have at large. At large one is not applying yet.
What's that?
At large. So which is like a seven
At
position.
large. We don't have an at-large position yet.
From the
Someone who doesn't live in the community, in the complex is.
No, isn't Mr.
We never
appointed
Johnny Romo submitted his resignation.
Okay, so can we bring that back to the council? Make sure we can all get somebody on there. I think the seniors.
I think so. The wiser way we need to announce it again to get the people interested. I think nobody was applied it.
Okay.
Mr.
No, I appointed Chavela Wong, and then I know there was a few people appointed, but nothing's been done. I know that there's we had a call with EDA. I would like to see if maybe on your next city manager announcements you can maybe or maybe, you know what, let's do a report on what happened on EDA and now that we're talking about the commissions, and I don't know if somebody else on the council wants to maybe, I think we should look at these commissions again. Maybe there's some that we could take out. I know we have a lot of commissions. Do I have someone else on the council that's willing to talk about that subject?
Mayor Kim?
Well, if you want to put it on the agenda to discuss, we can discuss.
Yeah.
But someone just need to concur with it.
Okay.
Someone wants to concur with it, Mr. Leal?
Does somebody want to concur with me that maybe we have too many
So in other words,
commissions?
you want to evaluate our commissions?
Correct.
And find out which ones are needed and not? Sure.
There's some that aren't meeting, and so, okay. So the Senior Citizen Commission, or we can probably add that one to the same topic, right? That way we don't have two agenda items, so Senior Citizen Commission and the other commissions.
It can be combined.
They can be combined, yeah. And I'm still, I know we waited for the meter rate, the water meter rates. I think.
But we already approved last time to meter water rate study.
The study, okay.
Yeah, we're going to be putting an RFP together for the water
study?
meter
Okay.
study.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so anybody has a future agenda?
I have nothing. I think they've got a lot of work
I
to do
have
with
a-
the short-handed staff.
Okay, I have them one agenda. We bring the next agenda for the spend the JPA fund with the Heffernan Board JPA fund to the spend the restroom for the children's sports areas or children's sports facility and the public restrooms.
Isn't it better to take that up with Heffernan than with city?
They should be making that action.
We can send the recommendation from the council to put it in the agenda to action over there.
I'm sorry, what is it again? You want restrooms?
Restrooms for
At parks?
The children's sports areas, which is, we cannot say the detention center. Any place children's, lots of children playing the game, sports center.
But the wellness is for wellness, not
Health.
for...
Health.
I don't know.
I guess it's not healthy to be
The
soiled.
restroom is,
Well, it is.
restroom is health. and the children's sports facility and spend money with the public restrooms. So bring the city council approve it to
it's
recommend it.
more. I mean, we're not going to vote on it. It's just more of a discussion and possible recommendation.
Recommendation, we take the action to send them to JPI.
Yeah, but we can't spend JPA's money, right?
No, that's a two-side money.
Okay.
Or we can ask the money.
Castro.
Okay, Mr. Castro.
Any agenda items?
Yes, I would like to hear from the next public council meeting from the city manager that any update from the insurance instead to JPIA. If we have a new insurance, we need to hear an update. And also, January is around the corner. I don't think we need to wait in order to work with the budget, or to finish the budget, to finish the actual numbers. I don't think that's the way I think. We don't need to wait until JPA make the final decision, because if we are going to get a new insurance, I believe they need a financial statement, they need a budget, and if we don't finish before the new year, I think we are going to be in trouble. That's something that I concern. That's the reason I mentioned that.
Mr. Fenley, we have a meeting on December 9th at the Joint Powers Insurance Authority. Is that correct?
That's correct. The email went out to each and every one of you.
Who is attending? You know who's attending on that one?
The only one I've heard from is that you are not attending.
Right.
But I haven't heard from
I would challenge the balance of the council to make sure that they attend at that meeting.
You want to go to December 9th meeting to JPI?
I think Mr. Castro also should attend, and Mr. Real should attend that meeting.
I would like to thank
December 9th at JPIA.
Thank John Moreno for ruining a perfect 4-0 vote all night with that one agenda item. We almost had a perfect 4-0 vote all night. That's where, I think that deserves a clap.
So we adjourn the meeting, let's say 9 or...
I'll change my name to Contreras.